Up. Hey, I haven't done a lot of these on the channel, and I don't mean Gerbers, but Gerbers as well, but really inexpensive bubble pack knives. And so I picked up a couple. I've got a couple here that I picked up and that interest me. And they're super budget knives, but they're made by, I don't know, reasonable companies, I guess. Gerber and Kershaw, a couple. And they interested me, so I'm going to feature them on the channel. And the first one is this Gerber. And the reason this interests me, it's a slip joint, but it's got a Scandi grind on it. And so I want to work on that edge. I think the way to get in here, it may be showing me a cut path here on the back of the package. Let's see. Did that get me in there? I'm going to say no, does not. Oh, it does. Yeah. I better be careful. There's a blade in there somewhere. Yeah, so this one interested me. And in the process of looking at this one, I looked at a few others and I thought, I'm just going to get a couple of these and we'll check them out. We'll check them in, check them out, see what we think. I carried a Kershaw Link or a Leak for a long time back in the day. Know what I mean? I carried a buck knife too when I was younger. Oh my goodness. It's going to do everything it can to not come out. Like take over. There we go. This, yeah. It's got some information here. Let's check it out. Slip joint. It's got micarta, Scandi grind. It's got a pocket clip. Sway back design. What's a steel? I think it says D2 steel. Yeah. All right. I'm not going to keep that. If I purge the knife, you're going to get the knife without a box. Oh my goodness, is that nice? Wow. Come on. Steel liners, steel pocket clip. This thing, that double detent right there is really, really nice. The action on this, wow. That's pretty cool. That's micarta. Listen, I realize and I can tell that I am not handling, a high-end knife. What's high-end? I kind of put the line on a budget knife at under 50, but that number has gone up substantially. So, maybe the new number, a budget knife is under $75. Well, why do I say that? I don't need to get all political in the video, but everything's more money. If you're out in the world, you realize everything costs more money. So, the thought that a budget knife, in my world, your world may be completely different, but the thought that a budget knife is going to remain at under $50. I said this before. I've been trying to buy a pickup truck for a year and refuse to do so because I can't get a decent interest rate. And a freaking pickup truck is the price of a small house. And so, yeah, everything's gone up. So I don't know. Is that number $75 now? You know, should I just go to 60, raise it $10, or do I actually, just throw an extra $25 at it? Everything's costing more. I mean, I'm not saying it's working, but minimum wage has gone up around the whole country. Well, if everybody didn't know what that was going to bring, I mean, high prices, everything costs more, and there's ramifications, man, that are happening all over the country because of that stuff. Businesses closing. I mean, how do you pay somebody, $20 an hour to take an order for a hamburger? I mean, wow. But anyway, so it's obvious in my hand that this is not a high-end knife. But with that said, I'm not saying it feels like a piece of junk. It doesn't. It's just the knockdown. These edges are crisp. They're not sharp, but they're crisp. And I think it's the G10 or the micarta. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, I just feel it. But is it comfortable in hand? It's crazy comfortable. Yeah, and wonderful ergonomics, man. This thing is so nice. Ow. I don't think I'm supposed to be using that yet. Yeah, that didn't feel good. So it wasn't the knife, it's the wound. Yep. I mean, the detent on this is so crisp that I have to be careful. Look at that. Wonderful, man. Yeah. Excellent action. Excellent ergonomics. The ergonomics are really good on it. Like I said, the fit and finish. But then look here at the backspacer spring. I mean, the fit and finish on this is wonderful. I just think I'm feeling a little bit of a sharp edge on the micarta. That's all. But I mean, overall, wow. I mean, really, the verbiage is wow. For a slippy, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna check that pocket clip. I mean, it's an interesting pocket clip. The design of these is meant to just get under something and then expand to spring out. And man, that's exactly how that carries. I mean, that's a dryer clip right there. Woo! Yeah, it's probably going to be really nice on normal jean size material right here. Yeah, dryer clip, one hand in, one hand out, easy in and out, but excellent retention. Man, I get it. All right, so I'm not going to film a whole bunch of sharpening, but I'm going to work on this blade. I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to work on a blade. But let's see how sharp it is before I do that. So how did they do on this Scandi grind from the factory? I mean, I got to be honest. I hate to mess with this edge. Oh my goodness, is this thing sharp? Wow. Oh, yeah. Look at it. I mean, budget Gerber slip joint. And legit, this thing out of the box is maybe, I mean, it's going to rival, look at it. It's going to rival any sharpness on any factory knife that I've taken in. I mean, is it measurable? No, because I don't measure the sharpness of these knives. But I'm telling you, I handle hundreds, and I mean, y'all know I'm handling knives constantly. And one of the things I do is I take them to a piece of paper, all of them, and I say, well, did they send it out sharp? This Gerber, this budget slip joint, is literally one of the sharpest factory knives that's been on this bench. That's been under this camera. Wow. I mean, I hate to mess with it, but I bought it purposefully to see if I can put a convex edge, a convex Scandi across there, and then take that to a polish. And that's, I mean, I bought it to do it, so I'm going to do it. I almost hesitate because, golly, is this thing nice. It's already way above my expectations. I mean, I could tell you right now that if you're into slip joints at all, and you don't mind a budget piece, like you're not living in, hey, everything in my collection has to be, $200 or more. You know what I mean? Like if you're down for a budget piece and you're into slip joints, you should find one of these and pick it up right now. I mean, look at this here. The fit, the finish of all of this, it's wonderfully done. The action, I mean, I'm gushing on it now, but I'm literally stunned. It is such a budget piece, and so far above my expectations. Like if you can do a slip joint, or if you have to because of the laws where you're at, this Gerber right here should get on the list. What is it even? I don't know that I put a name on it. You probably know because it's on the description. It's a Gerber Mansfield. Wow. Wow, Gerber. Wow. All right. Well, here I go. Let me see if I can break it. Here I go. I'll be back in a minute. I'll update. Okay, so quick update. One of the things I'm going to try to do is match that angle. Now, I'm going to put a convex edge on it, but I want to try to match that angle because the closer I get to this angle, the less material I'm going to have to take off of this blade to get it to a full convex. So this is going to help me do that. I'll make some passes and then I'll show you where we're at. All right, gee. Okay, so I've got the angle set down almost as low as I can go, and it only touched the very edge of that. So then I just went flatter, and it looks like I'm hitting the whole thing. So I'm just going to have to freehand it. I'm not going to be able to use the table necessarily as a guide. I'm going to have to just angle it and try to match that angle manually, which I think once I have it, I'll be able to repeat it. So anyway, I mean, stay with me for just a minute. We'll do some passes and see where we're at. Yeah, so it's doing what I expected to do. It's taking off this edge and it's taking off this edge because I'm going at it at an angle, so it's not touching the center, and it won't touch it until I get that convex, that curve built on it because it's flat. Well, I'm coming at it at a curve, so I'm going to hit it at the top and the bottom. And so I'm going to make a few passes. I'll keep the camera running. I don't want to generate too much heat here. See, I mean, close the gap quite a bit there. I mean, here, there's just a little tiny bit that I'm not profiling there. So, I mean, back here, the way that this is ground, I mean, we're going to get a smile. It's going to be kind of funky here. We'll see how this finishes back here. But yeah, well, I'll be back. Yeah, so I had to bring in some water. The blade was getting warm and I really don't want it to overheat, so I'm grinding, dipping. These will work. I don't think you want to run them necessarily wet because they're cloth belts, but a little bit of moisture on the blade I've found doesn't affect them. So I mean, we're getting there. I don't want to wipe it. I don't want to wipe the marker off. I mean, we're closing the gap for sure. So I just need to keep going. All right. Okay. I mean, I'm making really good progress, and I'm really hopeful. I think this is going to work. But I changed to an 80 grit belt. I'm going to see if that helps. I mean, right here, we've completely gotten through. We're from one end to the other, and it's a little fatter right there, so I need to kind of match that through the blade. So I'm in a dilemma here. I have transferred a burr back and forth and really whipped on this edge, but it's not perfect. And so I'm at a stage where I wonder, see, like if you look in the center here, I'm getting it, but clearly it's not all the way down. And so, you know what? I'm gonna keep working a little bit. I mean, I've been at it about 20 minutes, so a little more. Okay, so are you ready for the big reveal? Because I took it all the way through the 12,000 grit. And it is not what I was hoping for. But the question is it good? So let's take a look together. Here it is. Ready? Boom. There it is. So here's what happened. As I go to the finer belts are not the stiff belts. So the finer belts flex more. When you go into them, they curve more, which means they're really only going to work on these edges. When I was in the stiff belts, I was able to, get that whole edge. But as those belts got finer, they got softer. And here's what I mean. So like this is the second to the last belt, and look how soft that is. So when you press into this belt, it flexes a lot. And so it doesn't run flat, where the stiff belts, especially the higher grits, they're very rigid, they're very stiff, and so they're able to get down on that bevel more. So I think what the conclusion is if I really want to do these Scandi grinds in a convex edge like this, big, tall Scandi grinds. So that system, those belts work wonderful if I'm doing about a 1 millimeter edge, like a that's still a pretty laid down edge, like a 10 to 14 degree edge. I've got about 1 millimeter of edge along there. And so I can maintain contact even in the light belts. Like you can see, there's contact on this up front and the back with the fine belts. So, it works wonderful on a standard grind, but on a tall Scandi like this, the belts just aren't stiff enough to do it. But what's the end result of the edge on this? Let's see. Is it even sharp? That was a lot of grinding. Maybe it's not even sharp. Yeah, wow. I don't know how sharp that is, but it's crazy sharp. Yeah, I mean, golly, is that sharp. Yeah, I mean, that is so wicked, crazy sharp, unbelievable. It's sharp in the way that it doesn't have any toothiness to it, because I mean, I took it to the extremes. So I mean, it's not the most attractive thing now, because that really did kind of change the dynamics of it. Um, yeah, it's crazy sharp. I mean, yeah. So here's standard paper. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. Phew. I wonder if it'll whittle. I mean, what do you think? You see all the little curly cues here? Yeah, I mean, crazy, incredibly sharp. And the action on this Gerber, I mean, it really was about this Gerber. I just wanted to mess around with this edge. I can tell you right now, this Gerber, what is it, a Stanton again? I gotta look. A Sheffield Mansfield. Gerber Mansfield. What a cool knife. And I'm pretty sure, man, like you could pick these up maybe Walmart. I'm not even sure, but I'm pretty sure these are pretty handy and readily available, like Academy Sports, maybe. Ow. Yeah. Very cool slip joint. I dig it. I appreciate y'all watching. I mean, if you think about it, check one out. I got a little carried away with the sharpening and all that. What about price and availability? I mean, I kept talking about budget. Well, what did I actually pay to get this brand new so that I could butcher it up? So these are pretty much everywhere for around $25. There's a couple of live auctions going on eBay, and I picked one up brand new for less than $15. I mean, honestly, it was like around $10. So $10. Come on, this thing is so playing over its head. At $15, is $25 a fair price for this knife? I mean, before I butchered it up and made it look all funky. I mean, y'all saw it out of the box. This thing was a razor blade. What a wonderful slip joint. Nice little pocket piece. Come on, man. Anyway, so there you are. Gerber Mansfield. Check one out.